So once we develop our force velocity profiles, we're looking at the individual needs for each athlete. We're going to look first at ratio of force. So how does an athlete produce horizontal force in the very beginning of the sprint? So what we looked at from here is that athletes in every single category from 0 to 5, from 5 to 10, from 10 to 15, and so on, we realized that ratio of force percentage was one of the most important aspects of success in each of those distances. So the first thing we look at in determining our groupings, we look at ratio of force. So if an athlete is below 45%, they have very, very, very poor excel. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do everything heavy. So 60 to 70% velocity decrement. So we're trying to reduce the amount of speed that they have to work on those force capabilities. So this is very force oriented here. Okay, these two are force, right? We look at doing this in short cluster sets. So 3 times 4 times 5 yards. So one set would be 4 times 5 yards, and we do that 3 times. So it's heavy and it's short. We're hitting a high velocity very early, right? So the highest velocity we'll reach will probably be within 5 yards. The next grouping here, ratio of force between 45 and 50%. We look at very poor acceleration. We're doing somewhere between 50 and 60% velocity decrement. We're still doing cluster sets, but we push it out a little bit further. Okay, the next group, now we're looking at power. Okay, so these two would be power in here. Okay, these two are force in here. So this athlete needs force-based power to improve. So we know that the ratio of force is above 50%, but their force side of the equation needs some work, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce the load. So we're gonna go 40 to 50% velocity decrement so they can hit a decently high velocity. We're gonna push it out to 20 yards and we're gonna do two sets of 3 on there. The last group is a group that would be velocity based. Okay, so this group has some velocity characteristics. Okay, this group is very rare. This means that every other category has been fulfilled. So they have great ratio of force. They have great force, and the only thing they need is velocity. So typically, after like 3 to 4 years in our training program, we'll have athletes get into this. We very rarely ever see anybody in this category that hasn't gone through our program for a couple of years. So what these athletes are gonna do is velocity-based power is a goal. We're still working resisted here, so it's just a lot faster than these other ones. So they're hitting 8 meters per second if they run 10. If they're hitting 7 to 8 meters per second, right? And they're gonna do 40 yards with this, so more distance. We'll keep the reps long rest, only do about 4 total reps, and it's a lot lighter and it's a lot longer, right? So we go from a spectrum of heavy and short and cluster sets to more rest, more time, to light and long.